Minions have spawned.
Carney already level 6, has the Curse of the Sad Mummy. Lebrov with like 80% of his team's deaths, man. This is part of the problem when you're playing something like Ashe and the lane state just gets a little bit out of control and you're pushing up, you have no flash, and there's something with engage on the other side. It's like, okay, I'm just dead, I guess. We'll try and trade 1-for-1 where we can.
You've also got Carney now with level 6 and flash, so it's only going to get more painful for the next little while. As a point of case.
Yep, Lebrov caught. Agarin could look to get across the wall here. Doesn't have his flash, though. Lebrov will wisely back away, won't chase any further, but Carney gets a little bit of vision in. Lebrov doesn't actually sweep the ward that was in the back of the red pit there. Tolkien gets a bit of free time with the top lane tower and will take himself a plate.
I mean, all said and done, I'm feeling pretty good for NNO in this one.
Yeah.
Like, you're still matching push here for no way in mid. You're ready to open up the map. Like,
you have a composition that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's probably the main part for me, all said and done.
80% composition, 20% the fact that you're not 5k behind it. 11 minutes. Yeah. True. 100% reason to remember NNO ult.
I mean, it's kind of cool to see them back together for this.
Oh, yeah.
Because obviously, like, with the last time we saw them was this event last year, at least as the 5-man roster, so it's cool to get them all back together for it. One last time, the gang all back.
Well, who knows? Might not be the last hurrah.
True.
Chain of Corruption is going to go down again as Tolkien tries to flash away. Volley slows him up. Broken Blade needs another auto. And the experimental Hexblade there doing a lot of work. Diana coming in as Caps comes around for the chase. The Bob flashes over the wall. Caps now on the receiving ends of Agarin's pain, but G2 have 3. And NNO lose a man on top side.
Yeah, I do appreciate Agirin trying to demonstrate Pythagoras' theorem on the way up by hitting all 3 triangles, or all 3 80 carries in a triangle.
B squared equals Caps dead squared. Doesn't quite work the way you want it to.
No. But for G2, I mean, this is, if you want to have a good shot at this game, kind of what you need to do is just overload and look for towers, see what you can do. And you should get a good amount of gold off the back of this, but we're going to keep our eyes on Noe, who I assume, as he wanders up, does not have the best of times.
Oh, does Skirmishes just find him?
Yeah, it looks like it.
The problem with the Ziggs as well. Does have the flash satchel down, but Ezreal is so good at chasing in this situation.
I mean, didn't even need to.
Yeah.
Just kind of impressed with Skimon on the accuracy there and the Mystic shots, managing to connect with all.
Yeah, has that Triforce complete now. First tower of the game going over to G2, and it was a minute and 25 seconds ago I said, kind of good for NNO that they're not 5k down, and now they're teetering towards it. 4.5.
Still not there, okay? We're still not there. There is time.
The NNO hopeful in the crowd still holding on to the fact. They took a Drake, and they're only 4k down. Flash from Carney, misses the bandage shot, Chain of Corruption coming out. Lebrov looks to retreat, but his spacing not the best there. Cancelled an auto and will be autoed down by Brookie.
50% of the deaths then G2 to Lebrov as he ends up getting caught.
No, he's more than that, because NNO have 6 kills and he has 5 deaths, man. Yeah.
I'm looking at the wrong side of the score.
You were being very generous to that ass. As Agarin goes in, gets the double ultimate, but is taken out by G2. Almost survives in the end, does go down. Full of time as well.
Run, Carney!
With Carney's combination. Choose your Mirage goes wide. Caps on the chase, flash away from Brokey. Carney, unfortunately, that mummy is going to continue to be sad. Brokey's going to die. And Skumon's just gonna wait for the last possible moment. Oh man! It's not even Christmas, you can't open your presents now!
It's also so much sadder when it's the Amumu. He was lying there, tears.
But they had to make sure he was all alone by the time they killed him. Yeah. Enhance that suffering. So, not the best early game for our German representatives. However, from here on out, things could be buoyed up, you know? We've got the tier 1 towers down. That means G2 have to push further towards you, which means you get better engage options. And we have a Gatling gun rattling its way through the replay.
Yeah, I do think you get a little bit fortunate for NNO here, because like I really like the angle from Agirin, like come in behind the bottom lane, try and see things set up, especially with the kind of big CC combos we were talking about, but G2 just managed to isolate Agirin and then find their angles to come in onto the bottom side. Especially with the amount of damage BB was able to turn out before. We don't need to see it again. Oh, this is heartbreaking.
Lonely, he's so lonely. He's got nobody.
I want to hear you hit the high note now.
No, I'm good, man. Yeah, screw my voice at world, it's still recovering, okay? Can't do that as G2 set up towards the top side. 10 seconds before the Herald is up. Arrow going wide there on Agarin. So do the chain of corruption. 2 big ultimates down from G2. They use the transcend oneself as well from Hans Summer. So that's 3 ultimates invested as Agarin jumps across with that blast cone.
I think Carney gave us false hope with the initial bandage toss.
Yeah.
Since the first few, it has not been going so long.
It is harder when the 2 people you're aiming for aren't just directly in the same lane as you. And they have more ways to dodge around, you know? Oh, the damage from Skewmon. The bandage toss is going to hit Custom Sad Mummy. Not going to be used for the time to come out as Agarin dives in, lands a double, but they manage to get one out. Hans Summer surviving. Caps comes in from the side. In the end, will just be another 1-for-1 exchange.
A little bit of miscommunication on the MF ult there, but still, here to get at least something there for NNO, although we'll be G2 responding as Broken Blade pushing in on top side. You answer for the kill as well. It looks like Skewmon as well going to start up on this Rift Herald, so unfortunately for NNO, big ults, but not big results as they go for this play. You see here, like, Brookie ends up taking a ton of damage, and then they're like, okay, Carney's going in on Skewmon, that'll be him opening up, but Skewmon's on the Nezero as a flash away, and then there's no bullet time for this combo, which could have been insane, but Hans Summer able to flash just barely over the wall and avoid that ultimate.
Yeah, just enough escape. If you're NNO, you pull the trigger again soon when those ultimates up. Those flashes won't be available to G2. Hans Summers is down for the next 4 minutes or so. G2 are pushing through mid here. Do have the Rift Herald as well. Mega Inferno Bomb coming down to try and cull the way, but the slay of the cannon minion survives, and slay bells ring as G2 take down the mid lane tier 2.
I know I am listening to what you were saying.
Are you listening?
Honestly, I think G2, again, like, this is kind of what you'd expect from a pro team, just better macro, and now going to kill Tolkien again.
Poor guy, man. He went there and back again, but Tolkien falls in the end. Prepped these for years, man. That's what my Lord of the Rings addiction is going about. Broken Blade trying to hoard gold in the top lane. A veritable smile. 5,000, 5.5 freaking K the lead for G2 as they put the Rift Herald down in the top lane to try and crack this tier 2. And as I said, NNO had an opportunity to collapse on G2 as they pushed in for these inner towers. Already 2 of them have been felled.
Oh, okay. Is it wrong? I don't want to be
away.
here, yeah.
That's the Umbral Blade. Arrow available to him, but there's nothing really to fight over, and like, LeBron knows that.
Well, I mean, we got Dragon in 8 seconds, so maybe NNO are like, we can try and force something there, but if you're G2, you kind of go, cool, we just push mid and avoid everyone and do what the AD carries have been doing, which is just continue to take a ton of towers.
Hans has gone the Phantom Dancer Blade of the Ruin King route here as well to try and get through that tankier front line. Frozen Heart first for Cardi, as the Chemdrake is started and no real contest coming out from NNO. It's only the second Dragon of the game for G2, so you know, much ado about nothing. You don't really have to contest this one. And actually, interestingly, I think a Chemdrake on a 580 carry team is less effective than a Chemdrake on any other team. Because when you're below 50% HP, you're pretty much already dead anyway. Oh god, that's his Brookie. LeBron looking for the flank position. Brookie should just be able to walk this one out. With no wave there, G2 can't really knock on the tier 2. Oh, great curse of the Sad Mummy into the pullback from the Dynamo ultimate. Skewmon is here! Agarin falls to Skew. The Mega Inferno Bomb does not find its mark as G2 find 2 in what was a play begun by NNO.
That's what we call less than popular in the business. Is Tolkien actually starting to come in on the back end? Is Hans Summer caught here?
Okay. What can you do, Tolkien? Boomerang out, Hans Summer trying to retreat his way away. No, Brokey flashes forward as well, just to make sure that Hans is in the dirt. Has a little chuckle to himself. G2, he didn't really need to push the tier 2 there. I think you saw the jungler engage on the other side. We're like, okay, we have some time.
It's a Christmas map, and it's about indulging yourself, all right? That's what Christmas is all about.
Okay.
And sometimes you have to go for it. And Caps went for it, got caught, and still by some miracle, manages to come out alive off the back of this. I have no idea how Corky ended up this tanky, but here we are, G2 managing to turn that one around.
I wonder if it's Corky's tank, and it does have the upgraded Mercury treads as Carney goes in once again onto LeBron. Now needs to try and get out, and this is one of the problems with the Moo support. If you do not have the backup and the damage, it takes you a long time to waddle your way back to safety.
How much of that was on Mumu versus Carney just not having anyone around him, you know?
Little column A. I mean, a Mumu, it's thematic for him not to have anyone around as Tolkien is in the ground once again. Cat's looking for the chase. Agwin able to dodge his way out, but G2 now really running the map. There's no way.
Oh, no.
It's met by Broken Blade, a piercing arrow. And he hits those. BB 5-1 now on this Varus top.
Do you think BB is now unlocked basically what Mirren unlocked to himself in the LEC, where he's like, I now understand why you play Varus top all
He's
the
seen
time.
the Matrix.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all ones and zeros to him. There's no snow on the screen. There's no jingling of bells.
Oh, I just meant you know, like you unlock a dark part of yourself when you play Varus top.
Oh.
And now, like Broken Blade, flashing for like this was actually a really nice play. Like, I think we are going to see more of this from Broken Blade in the future. I think this is now like it's opened something in his heart. That
You hear that, Dylan Falco?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
We got to go Vayne. We got to go Varus top. Yeah. Hits all the arrows as well. Credit to Broken Blade. Takes down No Way. NNO. We haven't really seen a 5v5. And I think that is where this composition is the best.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if they're tanky enough.
No. That's kind of rude, I'm not gonna lie.
Yes, and I assume it's a 20-minute one as well. As the arrow connects it, Blue Buff trying to be stolen away, Curse of Time coming out, but Skewmon just dodges away, and the bullet time hits absolutely nothing. Skewmon making like Neo and dodging all of it. A double for Skew. Tolkien trying to get the one down as Hansama gets the nine to the wall, flash away with a cleanse. NNO just can't find purchase. G2 rip him to pieces. 5-0.
I think this was done. When the 580 carries are winning the full-on team fight, I think things have gone horribly, horribly wrong for NNO. I don't think there's much left in this game, to be honest, man. I think they're about to push in these waves. And these Nexus Towers are not surviving for particularly long.
One's more done than yesterday's Thanksgiving turkey. Cooked, I believe, is the NNO. Did I just spill water down myself? Yes, but you guys can't see that, so it's fine.
I wasn't going to call you out for it, man.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah.
Gotta give the viewers a peek behind the curtain from time to time. True Shot Barrage comes out. We'll give vision on Carney and Brookie. Hansama standing here looking. See perhaps if they can find a fight. Caps is a little bit isolated. Charlotte Kusalao is going to hit onto the backline there. Now Caps begins to turn it around. Hansama dashing forward onto Brookie. Caps in the 2v1. Agwin dashing onto him. Caps does go down, but with the volley support and the follow-up, the rest of NNO fall around No Way. And I'm afraid his name is eponymous. No way out for him. He gets one, but he'll fall for it.
And look, at least NNO are still trying things, seeing if they can make it stick, but unfortunately for them, G2, they're going to open up their base and start to make their way in towards the next.
Yeah, triple grubs for them. They can push in very quickly here. It's early in the game, so short respawn time is for NNO. 10 seconds on Brookie and Carney. And with Tolkien coming across to cover, G2 will back away. Next Drake up in 7 would be their third of the game, but it's 11,000 gold the lead. There was an Uttercunt. Did we see the Uttercunt take?
I didn't copy Uttercunt, I'm not gonna lie. To be fair, I'm not exactly like hardcore.
Yeah, not really.
About this game.
Well, I just saw that G2 had 54 petals and was slightly confused.
Because I was gonna say, when Caps is like leaping into two people like this as a Corky, most of my analytical brain is just turning off at this stage, and I'm just along for the ride, you know?
You and Santa Claus riding in that sleigh.
Yeah, having a great old time. I'll take it.
No Way cheering the fact he managed to pick up a kill. I will say, I've worn like Lederhosen before, and they are quite tight and restrictive, right? So I wouldn't be that comfortable playing on a stage. It's kind of a detriment to him. So credit to him for being able to play, not in one of the, you know, traditional esports jerseys that are the most comfortable and great sweat-wicking things that we have in the world.
Yeah, I mean, you need them, right? It's intensive.
Exactly,
So,
yeah.
Yeah.
You gotta have a jersey. I want more teams to do like cool polo necks and such.
That'd be sick.
You know? Experiment a little. 100 Thieves had the right idea.
Yeah, I agree.
And now they're out of the league. So maybe it was the wrong idea, who knows?
But they still do the apparel stuff, right? So they have something going.
Brookie caught out here. The Scryer's Bloom spotted him alongside Agwin, who will dash in onto Broken Blade, but he just gets deleted. G2 31-11, 56 petals to 16.
And that was without the exhaust being used. Yeah.
That's the big difference
yeah.
maker, actually, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, two respectable 1v1s. LeBron broke the truce there, sending an arrow at Tolkien when he was fighting against Carney, who doesn't land the bandage toss and might be in need of a little bit of a bandage repair himself. He does, in the end, get onto LeBron, but he dies for it.
I respect Carney in that one because he respects the rules of supportive combat.
It was
he
supportive combat,
only did damage to LeBron.
Valid.
Yeah. And you know what? I salute him for that. I think that's well necessary. Talking goodbye, mate. Jesus. That was just gone.
Someone chucked the ring into Mount Doom there. It's just like, no, everything's destroyed. It's all gone. It's all doomed. Triple in him.
the front yard to everything.
Broken Blade has a flank position here. Chain of Corruption is going to land again as NNO are just being ripped to pieces inside their own base. 1,000 gold for Agarin! Maybe that's the start of the comeback for NNO. I think not, though. As Carney comes out, Kirsten Sad Mommy for the stun. Carney unable to pick one up. LeBron ignited, not quite.
Oh,
the Ash survives as G2 pick up the first win of Wraithful League of its own 2025.